and Training PMI Mumbai chapter, and I welcome you all to this second session of PM Forum hosted by PMI Mumbai chapter. I welcome Ashish to introduce the speaker, and he is the MC for the session. Hope you will have a great learning from this session. Over to you, Ashish.
Yeah, thanks, Aparna. Good morning, everyone. So today we have Mr. Arpit Desai. He has more than like 16 years of experience, cutting across a lot of sectors, starting from the manufacturing, then automobile industry, then like lighting industry. Then now he's working with Everest, Everest company, and then I can totally assume it that everyone is having one of their masala in our kitchen. So that's like well known brand to us. He is PMP certified and of course Six Sigma certified as well. And then he has applied a lot of his lot knowledge and expertise into those manufacturing organizations and other kind of organizations wherein he has led the CI projects, which is like continuous improvement, cost cutting projects, and then like excellence project, wherein he has shown a lot of improvement in the company, like company uh, net profit. So yeah, that's a brief about him. I know there are like a lot of things to talk about him, like because like it's 16 years of experience. But yeah, I just want to shortcut myself here. Over to you, Arpit.
Yeah, okay. Good morning, everyone. Let me share my screen.
So just to mention about the today's topic, it's a Lean Six Sigma, wherein Arpit will be like providing us the brief of like not brief like the fundamentals of the Six Sigma. What is this exactly? How we can apply it? What are the benefits? And how to apply the Six Sigma thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay. So let me start today's session. Once again, good morning, everyone. So myself, Arpit Desai. I am currently holding the business excellence portfolio in industries, and our today's topic is the fundamentals of the Lean Six Sigma. So we'll be more talking towards the topics of the Lean and Six Sigma and how the application lies within the different industries and how we can apply and get the maximum benefits with the project management knowledge what we have. So I have just certified PMP from in last December, and this is a good platform to share my knowledge from my experience. So I hope you will get the good knowledge out of this. So today's topic will be going to cover these topics like towards the end of the sessions, you will be able to understand the basics of the Lean Six Sigma. Then let me put the pointer. Okay. So the second topic which we're going to see in today's agenda is will be towards the evaluation of the Lean Six Sigma, how it has evolved as an approach in the industry, and what are the different industries which have already implemented and demonstrated the exhibit behavior of this terminology, and how and why the Lean Six Sigma is need of the hour in today's scenario, and lastly, importantly, what are the different benefits when we apply the Lean Six Sigma as a methodology in the different industrial scenario. So we are going to cover today's topic, and I like to put some basic ground rules or the housekeeping which we'll be going to have during today's sessions. I hope you are all are in the safe environment. You are maybe you are not driving, or you will be at a safe place to attend the sessions for next couple of hours. I hope if you like to learn, so it's a good opportunity. So you can mute your phone to have a proper understanding of the topics. We'll not have questions in between, so we'll have the question and answer session separately. Will be at 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the session, so you can ask as many as questions, and we can have leverage the learnings during that sessions. I hope you able to take notes, and if you need to understand any topics, we'll going to cover at the end if you have any question and answer, and avoid multitasking. So it will be good way to learn and leverage the know-how. So today's sessions will be around 120 minutes, and we'll have a break in between around 11:10 for the 10 minutes. So here we'll like to start with the today's session. So now what exactly the Lean Six Sigma? So before starting, let me show you a small video. Uh, I hope the sound is audible. Hello, someone can confirm
No,
so that.
Yeah, Arpit, we can listen, hear you.
Okay, okay.
Arpit, are you sharing something like a video or something like that?
Yeah, I hope the video is visible.
Uh,
no, Arpit. I think the screen is not shared, so there
Oh,
is no audio video.
yeah.
okay. Let me share the screen again. Just a minute. So is this YouTube screen is visible?
Yeah, it
Yes,
is visible.
Arpit.
Okay, okay. Okay, so it's a just small video I like to share so that it'll have a good impact, and just to quick start. So I hope the now the presentation is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. So the motive of showing the small video is to have context for the today's session. So I would say lean is more towards the speed, how we can improve the efficiency of the processes by eliminating the waste, which. Okay. So sorry for the interruption. So I was talking about the lean. So lean is basically how we can improve the efficiency of the processes by eliminating the systematic elimination of the waste. So what exactly the waste? So we're going to cover in today's session. So whenever we are talking about any processes, right? So the processes consist of the different non-valued activity which are called as a waste. in terms of the lean methodology or the lean philosophy. So it is a systematic elimination of the waste which are lying in our processes and reducing the non-value-added activity which are from the customer perspective, and by improving the efficiency of the processes. So that is the lean methodology talks about. And Six Sigma is basically more towards the consistency of the processes. So it aims for the reduction of the defects by solving the systematic elimination of the systematic root causes elimination of the problems which we are lying into our processes. So nowadays, basically Lean and Six Sigma are jointly used all across the different industries and all across the globe. So basically, why the Lean and Six Sigma is leveraged as a combined methodology is basically it it is basically aiming with the same objective to improve the customer satisfaction by reducing the waste which we are lying in our processes, and systematic elimination of the different causes which are lying in our processes, to make our processes more faster, more efficient, and more customer oriented. So next we will move towards the different aspects of the Lean Six Sigma. So here you can see the Lean is basically focused towards the elimination of the waste. So Lean is basically towards the elimination of the waste, where the Six Sigma is reducing the variation. Now the reason why this methodology is being combined as a Lean Six Sigma is the both is having the continuous improvement of the processes. Sometimes the continual improvement word is also being used. So now let us understand what is the difference between continual improvement and continuous improvement. So basically the continual improvement talks about the incremental improvement in any of the processes. So once we have some improvement in place, we'll have a stabilize for certain period of time, and then we again do some improvement, then we have some stabilization period, and then we again do the improvement. So it is basically a step by step incremental improvement in our processes. So this is basically a continual improvement. And the second topic is the continuous improvement. So continuous improvement is the methodology, like it is improving in a this way. So this is basically the continuous improvement. So here we are not waiting for some improvements, but we are continuously improving our processes and continuously improving. So this is the difference between the word continuous and continual, but it is based on the industry, based on the need of the hour, and based on which these two terminology are being coined upon. So so these are the two basics info the world renowned organization which have contributed more towards these two approaches. So if we talk about the Lean, then the Toyota is the pioneer in adopting the different concepts and the different tools and terminologies coined around the Lean methodology, whereas the Motorola is the major contributor in the Six Sigma methodology. So when we talk about the Lean and Six Sigma, it is purely towards the continuous improvement of our processes, and by utilizing the different concepts and the principles of the Lean and Six Sigma. So if we talk about the basics on the Lean and Six Sigma, so both of this methodology is towards a team-based approach. So the complete team or the dedicated team is working on the separate projects which are aimed to improve the processes. So if we talk about the Lean, then Lean is a short-term basis hit or quick gain process, whereas the Six Sigma is the longer term, and it is having a similar to our the project management approach. It is having the start point and end point, and it is a long-term project-based concept. Whereas if we talk about the Lean, so Lean is basically focusing on the 7 waste which we are going to cover in today's session, and whereas the Six Sigma is more towards the focusing on the customer aspects and systematically eliminating the defects. So when we talk about Lean, so it is based on the historical data and the experience of the different people who are already existing with the same set of the processes. Whereas Six Sigma is purely based on the data-driven methodology, and I would say some part of the statistics is involved. It's not that you need to be a more proficient while applying the Six Sigma methodology. So statistical is just a tool to enable give the quick decision making on the Six Sigma part. So when we talk about the lean manufacturing, it is basically incremental improvement. And when we talk about the Six Sigma, it is a basically talks about the breakthrough improvement. So when we talk about the lean, so it is basically more focused towards the issues on the different processes. Whereas when we talk about the Six Sigma, it is more towards the mathematical equation of y is equal to fx. So that also we are going to cover in today's session. Now, let us move towards how the Six Sigma and the Lean Six Sigma concepts is being evaluated throughout the span of the time. So in 1960s, before I would say the Japanese are the main pioneer of the lean concepts. So how did this concept was evolved? So I would say I just go to back in towards the 1938 or 1934, 1942 around, where the World War II has happened and Japan's economy was completely crashed down. So during that time, Japanese are more concerned towards how we can boom towards our economy and what are the different enablers to have the more economical up down of the country. So what they did was they are more towards the different. They are more focused on the how the manufacturing get evolved so that the complete economy can get boom. So the Toyota was the basic pioneer where all these concepts were being tested, proven, and then this they have worldwide get the recommendation and know-how spread across the different industries. So during since the after World War II, when the Hiroshima and Nagasaki episode came to the Japan, since then they are working on the improvement of the upliftment of the economy. And around 1960 to 70 period, the Toyota was the company who has pioneered the different concepts with the Japanese methodology, and just in time was one of the concept which has got boomed. And then the lean methodology has been coined upon. So lean methodology is being coined when there was one book published on the machine that changed the world during this 1980s period. So when it came back to the US, so they have made this terminology lean get more popular across the globe. And that is how the lean enterprise, lean methodology, lean philosophy kind of word has been evolved during after 1990s. So if we talk about the Six Sigma, so the Mr. Edwin Deming, who is the main pioneer or the originator of the different concepts, who came upon with the concept of the PDCA cycle, which is a plan, do, check, act, the continuous improvement cycle. And based on those concepts, the Six Sigma get evolved. The Deming is from US, and he also visited so many times in the Japan, and they also leverage the learnings from each other. And that is how the different concepts of the quality improvement and TQMs come upon. And the company called Motorola has started working on the quality defects and during the 1980s, and that is how the more focus of the Six Sigma initially was towards the quality. But eventually, nowadays, when we talk about the Lean Six Sigma as a methodology, so it is both towards the customer aspect and the quality aspects, and not even that, but now it is more towards the business aspects, how we can leverage the overall business turnaround with the help of this methodology. So this is how that the complete methodology got evolved over a period of time. Now, if we talk about the different project types in scenario of the Lean and Six Sigma, so the first one is the quick win. So what exactly the quick win means? We know the problem, we know the solution. So and the solution is very simple, right? So it is a kind of a just do it, and it's a very fast track methodology. So we know the problem, we know the solution, we take certain actions and we close those problem. So this is called as a quick win. The second methodology is called as a process improvement. So where we use to apply this Lean Six Sigma DMAIC methodology So DMAC stands for the define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So basically, we'll also going to cover what exactly the different approach or the tools which we are going to cover during the when we talk about this topic. Third methodology is on the process design. So when the process is not exist, when we are starting from the scratch and we are creating the brand new about the process, it is called as a process design. And the concepts of the DFSS or DMADV has been used or applied during the process design methodology. The fourth methodology is process redesign. So when we have existing process, we are already working on that, and we like to see the overhauling of the complete process, which is due to some non-capability in certain criteria of our existing process. Then we can use this methodology, and it is also called as a process re-engineering. So the last and the fifth one is the infrastructure implementation. So it is more towards the management of our processes, and it is basically towards more towards our the KPI of the different processes. Now let us move and connect with our project management methodology. So everybody knows that project management consists of the 5 phases, which is based on our traditional methodology. So initiating, planning, executing, closing, and monitoring. So the Lean Six Sigma methodology is also towards the uh, define, measure, analyze, and improve and control. So various phases are getting interlinked and interdependent when we talk about the project management methodology. So when we are working on any project, and let us say we need to have some improvement in our existing processes, we can definitely use this concept, which is based on the define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, right? So this is how we can leverage the learnings of the Lean Six Sigma in our project management scenario. Now, how these Lean Six Sigma concepts are being used in different industry, be it any industry like banking where the financial transactions are happening, we can definitely apply whatever the know-how of the Lean Six Sigma. And the be it healthcare where the patient health or the wellness is being monitored, so we can apply the know-how of the Lean Six Sigma. Be it the petrochemical or any manufacturing industry, be it the government sector or any software industry, all across the different processes, across the different industry, we can apply the Lean and Six Sigma concepts. Now, just go towards the philosophy of the Lean Six Sigma methodology. So there are 3 underlying principles on which the Lean Six Sigma philosophy works. So first and foremost is the customer first mindset. Second is people are the most valuable resources. Third is the continuous improvement. So we are going to cover all these 3 in the upcoming slides. So first we'll talk about the customer first point, right? So customer first is basically when we are working on any idea, or when we are working on any business improvement project. So we are aiming over here that there should be no defect or no deviation should pass to the customer. So whatever the customer is need, or whatever the we used to use the terminology VOC, that is called as a voice of the customer. So that is the basic fundamental when we start off any improvement of the processes. So VOC is basically voice of the customer. So when we start any improvement project, we understand the pain areas of the customer, pain area of the business, and we start leveraging on the how it impact in our processes. So we club all these VOC to our processes, and we see how the processes get stuck up during the understanding of the different pain areas of the customer. Second aspect is always customer or the market dictates the price. So the market is the driving factor who decides the cost or the price, I would say. So the cost element is always in the hand of the organization where they can leverage the improvement. So we will see how this cost element can be leveraged so that we'll have a good profit in the business, as well as we can have the constant price or the competitive price in the market. So to increase the profit, we always must reduce the cost. So these are the cost enablers. This methodology is basically a cost enabler to the business, to the organization, and such a way that we can have the customer mindset in place, as well as we can reduce the cost. The next philosophical idea is more towards the people aspects. So Lean and Six Sigma is more towards the people aspect. So they talk about people as the most valuable resource. So when we talk about the success of the Toyota, they succeed because of their people. They have a blind belief in their people, so that people are their assets. And they leverage through the motivation of the people through the concept called Kaizen. So that also we are going to cover in today's session. So they talk about they have the clear mindset that the people who are there are helping to solve the problems and make the things better. So people have the very unlimited capacity for the learning and develop, and that is how the term of called as a kata is being evolved. So what exactly kata is, when we have some current situation and we have the desired condition, so how we are improving and how to leverage, that is the complete dark scenario. So these are the certain methodology. Lean Six Sigma methodology is being used to improve the current situation from the to improve the current situation to the desired state of the improvement. So that is how the Lean Six Sigma philosophy works. So here it's only talks about the value added works which is just needed from the customer mindset. Now next third point is towards the continuous improvement. So continuous improvement is talks about solving the problems, eliminate the waste, variation. So because variation is always lying in each and every processes. Let's say we are making a tea every day, and we know the taste of the tea is not same every day, even though we are preparing by ourselves. So variation is the big elimination, enemy of any processes. So here the Six Sigma comes into the picture. It helps to improve the processes and reduces the variation. The Lean Six Sigma is always work upon the continuous improvement methodology, and it is a never-ending pursuit for the perfection. And it is always a scientific method improvement and in a structural implementation on the experimentation way. So Lean and Six Sigma always talks about the Kaizen. So Kaizen is a Japanese word. It's a breakup of Kai and Zen. Kai is the meaning of change, and Zen is for the betterment. So any change which is betterment for the processes, betterment for the people is always welcome when we talk about the Lean and Six Sigma methodology. Now here there are a couple of slides to see. So here if you can see the power of observation. So many people, if we give a time of 10 minutes, 10 seconds, so everybody can see the beans. But if you can see down towards the down, there is a face lying over here. So that is how we should identify the abnormality in existing our process. We should have the different eye mindset, and outside box thinking is required when we talk about the Lean and Six Sigma. So if we talk about the lean and lean thinker, so this is a situation where the people think it differently. They have the different perspective. There is a scenario where the glass is made 50% full with the water, right? So when we talk about the optimist person, he thinks that the glass is half full, right? So he thinks that the 50% water is available. If we talk about the pessimist person, if he looks this glass, then he has a thought in his mind that the glass is still half empty. Why it's not full? But when we talk about lean as a lean thinker, so lean thinker always thinks what exactly is required. So he thinks that why the glass is twice as big as it should be. We should have the glass with this much of water content. That's how the lean thinking come into place. And it is very a common sense where we can apply our know-how with the common mindset. So here you can see the different books which are evolved over a period of time, and these are the different books. The first book is the machine that changed the world, the story of the lean production. So as I said earlier, that the lean was the methodology which being more popular towards the 1990s, when all this success of the Toyota goes to beyond the Japan, and the the industries from the US has the manufacturing industry, I would say, in the US, they have know how this concept is being successfully implemented within the Toyota and other Japanese manufacturers, and they don't want to use the same terminology as the Toyota, so they have used the terminology as a lean, and that is how the lean word has been come into the picture around 1990s. And these are the certain books like Lean Thinking, The Toyota Way, Toyota Talent, Toyota Culture, and Toyota Kata. So Kata is, as I explained, that this is a current situation. This is my desired condition, and this is a complete dark spot. When we connect both situation, we know we are completely in the dark zone where we don't know what to do, how to do. So this way the Lean and Six Sigma methodology comes into the picture, and they are making the enabler to improve the current situation to the desired improved condition. There is one more book which is called as a Toyota Culture. So basically why I am coming to this is it's more towards the people, how the success of the Toyota is I would say more towards because of the people mindset, people oriented mindset, because they always talks about how the people pillar can be leveraged to improve the business performance. So when we talk about the Toyota way and Toyota methodology, the people who brings the systems to the lives. So they always work, communicate, resolve issues, and grow together with the mindset of the people in the center of the any improvement. So they also talk about the employee involvement in every aspects of their business. So this is a 4P model, which is more popular once this Toyota way got popular. So as we have certain principles of the lean across this triangle, so the first methodology or the first part of the basic pillar of this 4P model is the philosophy. So Japanese are always talk about the long term sustainability or long term benefits of the business, and so whatever the decisions they took, they are based on the long term way, and not at the expense of the short term financial goals. So that is how the Japanese model is different. So they always took decisions based on the long term, how my long term business will gain benefits when I take some decision. The second is on the aspect of the process. So first is philosophy, second is the process. So process, when we talk about process, so it always talks about the flow. So any process should not stuck in between, and it should have a systematic flow, uninterrupted flow of the processes. So when we talk about the different process element, there should not be any stuck up. It should a uninterrupted flow of the different process output. So they talk about always about the pool system. So pool is always from the subsequent processes, and that is how the pool system is being coined up. Whenever there is an issue in this process, let's say, so they believe that we have to stop this, we have to fix this, we have to correct it, and then it moves to the next station. So that is how the stop and fix mindset comes into the picture when we talk about the process element of the 4P model. Then they talk about the standardization. So when we are working on the different set of processes, we should have the standardization. So once we have the standardization, it enables the continuous improvement of the processes. And they are more towards the technology, but they work upon the tested technology, reliable technology, and they are more towards the people oriented aspect on the technology. So next is the third element, which is a people and partner. So this talks about the respecting, challenging, and leveraging not even the suppliers, not even the employees who are working into the periphery of the business processes, but even beyond that, the stakeholders, the suppliers, and the complete value chain of the business. The fourth is the problem solving. So when we have a set of the philosophy, processes, and the people and partners in place, we improve it with the problem solving methodology or the continuous improvement mindset, and we apply the learnings, we apply the know-how of the people, and we improve upon from our day-to-day operations. So that is how the continuous improvement mindset has been leveraged. So this is the 4P model of the Toyota, which is quite popular all across the industry. And I would say many of the organizations which are working on the different production system nowadays are more towards this 4P model. So all the major multinationals which are working on their business system or the process production system, which are lying on the this four pillar of the people, processes, philosophy, and the problem solving mindset. So now what exactly the lean is and what exactly the lean is not. So lean is basically an improvement philosophy and mindset. It is a set of principles. It always works on the customer centric approach, which reduces the waste and remove the minimization of the non-value added activities. Lean is not for the manufacturing or not for the set of processes, but it is involve the complete business system. So business system, when we talk about, is a business system for organizing, managing the product development, your operations, suppliers, and the customer relation. So it is a complete end-to-end scenario where the lean is able to come into the picture. And as I mentioned, that lean is applied all across the various industries, non-profit organization, and even the government agencies. What exactly lean is not? So lean is not a shortcut for applying our analytical thinking. So lean is more towards the experience, know-how, and the continuous improvement basically. So rather than when we talk about the Six Sigma, it is more towards the data-driven decision-making methodology. So lean thinking. When we talk about it, is a set of principles and practices which reduce the cost through the removal of the waste. So when we remove the waste from our processes, we are enhancing the flow in our processes. And basically, when we improve the flow, we can have the proper velocity all across our processes, and we should reduce the our quote to cash cycle when we talk about the customer experience. So why do we need to reduce the cost? So it is basically a ways of increasing the profit. So any organization sustain in a business to make a profit. Once the profit is there, the organization sustain for a long term. So everybody knows that selling price is the breakup of profit and cost. So uh, it is very good to increase the selling price, but we need to see the how the market and how the customer responds. So increasing the selling price is not a favorable scenario. Now, second aspect is reducing the cost. So it is possible only with the cooperative efforts and the waste elimination, where the lean and Six Sigma tools are being used in the industry. Now, if we talk about the third scenario where we can reduce both the cost and selling price, so it's a very wonderful scenario. So when we reduce both our internal cost as well as the selling price, we should have a good market and good customer satisfaction with the competitive selling price. We can increase the profit and we can have the cost reduction. So that is how the lean comes into the picture. Now, why we should use the lean as a methodology, right? So here we can see the lean basically removes the hurdles to the world-class performance. So if we see the world-class companies, they are having when they start upon with the lean methodology, they have the three hurdles basically. The hurdle in terms of the waste, second is variability, and the inflexibility. So now let us understand what these three concepts or what three hurdles towards the business performance. So when we talk about any business performance, it includes the inputs of the people, processes, material, and information. So when we start upon any business processes, these are the key elements where we working to get some input convert into the output. So people, processes, material, and information are being used to transform the raw material. If we talk about the production or the manufacturing environment, if we like to have the service environment, so then this methodology is being used. And when we have certain aspects on the delivery side or the output side, so we like to improve the safety, we like to improve the quality of the product or the services, we like to improve the delivery aspect of our product, and we like to have the bare minimum cost of our product. So in the operating performance improvement, these are the three hurdles which we have. So the first one is waste, variability, and inflexibility. Now what exactly the waste is? So waste is any non-value added activity. Now what exactly the mean of value here? So value is basically whatever is being required or whatever being desired by the customer. So customer is always paying for the value part of the product. So Toyota and this lean methodology is prominently work upon this 8 waste elimination methodology. So what exactly this 8 waste is? These are the short form to remember its downtime. Sometimes it is called as a COMWIP and in different industries. So when we talk about this downtime methodology of the lean waste, so the first is the defects. So any scrap, any rework during our existing processes, it is called as a defect. So certain times we have many products lying in our yard and work in processes of excess, that is called as a overproduction. Third waste is the waiting. So people are getting waited due to the non-availability of certain materials or getting some information in the service sector. So people are waiting. So that is also a waste in terms of the lean methodology. Fourth is the non-utilized talent. The people are there, but the company or the organization is not convert their talent into the deliverable part of the business. So that is how the non-utilized talent is also a waste, where we fail to fully harness the skill of the employees, the talent, know-how, and experience of the people aspect. Fourth is the transportation, right? So transportation is any unnecessary movement of the product or the goods. Sixth is the inventory. So when we talk about the inventory in terms of the manufacturing scenario, any excess raw material, any excess work in progress, or any excess finished goods, which is a waste in terms of the inventory. Seventh is the motion waste, where we are doing the unnecessary movement of the different people or the equipment. It is called as a waste. And the last is the extra processing. The we are doing many times let's say in terms of the automotive scenario. So many industries do the 200% inspection. So 200% inspection is means we are already existing the inspection in our process, but to leverage the defect free product to the customer, we are doing the second time inspection. So that is extra processing. So customer is not paying for that second time inspection, but our processes are not capable, and that is why we need to do this extra processing. So this is also a waste. So waste is always cost the money, right? So which is not required for our business, but we need to do it because our processes are not capable, because our processes are not much strengthened, and because of which our cost is lying in carrying out those unnecessary activities. Now, second aspect is the variability. So variability is basically when we plan something and we can have some delivery, or in actual scenario when we got delivered. So any deviation from the plan is called as a variability. So when we talk about the variability, these are the 5 elements which comes into the picture: people aspects, process aspect, information aspect, and environment aspect. So when we talk about the people, if the people are getting change in my processes, it gives a variability in my quality of the product or the delivery of the output. When the machine is not delivering, or the equipment is getting breakdown, or the equipment is not properly maintained, then the processes which being generating those outputs are not having a standardized output, and that is how the defect is being generated, and it creates a variation in the process. Third aspect is the raw material or the material. So material from where we are taking the support from the different vendors or buying the raw material. If it is not of the good quality or of the consistent quality, it creates a variability in the process. And fourth is the information. We are not getting the right information at the right time with the accurate high quality information, then also we can have a variation in our process. And the fifth one is the environment. So many times the environment also comes into the picture, where we don't have any control in the temperature, humidity, and the pressure, and that is how the processes are getting unstable. So we need to understand all these five in order to capture the variability in the process. The third is the inflexibility. So inflexibility talks about the changeover capability and the capacity. So when we talk about the changeover, our processes are not much strengthened to take the more changeover of the different products or the services and to meet the customer demand. When we talk about the capability, the people aspect of the technology or the new product requirement is the people are not capable, then it creates the inflexibility into the processes. Third is the capacity. So the capacity means the inability to change the production volume to meet the customer demand. So let's say in certain industrial scenario, my daily demand of the product is 100 units per day, but my customer is asking 110. My process is not that much capable to produce the output. So we need to understand what are the blocking points or the constraints, and that is how that inflexibility comes into the picture, and we need to work upon that inflexibility. So when there is any inflexibility into the process, it always adds the cost, but do not add any value to the system. Now let us talk about the concept of the 3M, that is called as the Mura, Muri, and Muda. So Mura is basically unevenness, Muri is overburden, and Muda is the waste. So let us understand with one example where the company would like to transport the material of the 6 ton from its warehouse to the customer location. So before going to the example, let us understand what is the exact relationship between Muda, Mura, and Muri. So Muri is Mura is basically a sum of the Muri and Muda. So all these three are interrelated. Now let us understand this concept with the example. So let's say there is one company which like to deliver the 6 ton of material from its warehouse to the customer location. So the Muri is basically the overburdening of the processes. So here we are just taking the example of the truck, but it is of any process where the overburdening is happening. So overburdening means ki there is always a one capacity for one particular process or people. When we are exceeding that limits, it is called as the overburdening of the process or the people. So here, if you can see, the truck is having the overloaded with the 6 ton of material, that is called as a muri or the overburdening. So what exactly will happen is the maybe it happens during transportation, this excess load can get a breakdown of the vehicle. Now second aspect is the mura. Mura is basically unevenness, fluctuation, or variation. So what exactly is happening in this scenario is we will be providing 2 trucks, one truck with the 4 ton of material and the second truck with the 2 ton material. So here we are not able to utilize the full capacity of the vehicle, and we are creating the unevenness into the system. So the first this trip will be having a very little load, whereas this trip will having a too much load. So that is how we are creating the unevenness into our system. So when we have the muri is also comes into the picture. So this leads to the leads to the muri with the overburden of the one vehicle to the delivery. And muda is basically uneven workload can lead to the we are utilizing the full capacity. So that is how the waste or the muda come into the picture. So as I said earlier, that every these three, mura, muda, and muri, is interlinked and interdependent on each other. Now the third scenario is the muda. It is called as a waste. So here what we are doing is we are using the three vehicles with the 2 ton capacity. So here, even though in this option, which has no mura and muri, but it has muda. But muda means waste. So we will not, the truck is will not be fully loaded on each trip. So each truck can carry up to the 3 tons of the material, and we are just utilizing the 2 ton capacity, and we are utilizing the extra burden or extra freight cost of this third vehicle. So that is how it is creating the unnecessary trip and unnecessary burden on the cost aspect of the freight. So now let us understand the scenario where we are having no mura, muri, or muda. So the truck is utilizing the full capacity of the 3 ton each. So in this scenario, there will be no mura, no muri, and no muda. So here we are utilizing the truck with this full capacity. There will be no waste, there will be no unevenness in the system, and there will be no overburden on the system. So this is the summary. Here you can see the muri. Muri means the overburden. The vehicle is fully loaded beyond its capacity. Mura is basically unevenness. Here you can see the material is loaded into 4 ton and 2 ton. So we are not utilizing the full capacity. Here in Muda, we are creating one more excess trip where we can have the more extra freight cost and the transportation cost. And this concept where there is no muri, no mura, and no muda. So we are utilizing the trucks with a full capacity or whatever the capacity of the vehicle, and there will be no excess cost on the process. So these are the basically when we talk about the Toyota. So Toyota has made their production system, and it is got more popular during the 1960s to 1980s when they work upon the various concepts of the Toyota production system. So as I mentioned earlier, that the center part or the heart of this production house is basically the people. So on the left side, you can see the just-in-time concept, and the right side it is a jidoka. So jidoka is also a Japanese word. It is called as automation. So automation means automation with a human touch. So as I mentioned, that people at the center, so they always see the automation with the how the human touch is being involved over there. And the base pillar of is the Haijunka. Haijunka is basically a leveling the load. So we will definitely go to these concepts in our upcoming slides. So now let us talk about what are the different benefits of the when we apply the lean methodology. So it reduces the cycle times. So cycle time is by elimination of the waste. It increase the quality. It is by the mistake proofing methodology. It always reduce the cost and inventory when we apply this Kanban methodology. It always increase the capacity potential when we have the Haijunka or the load leveling concept. It always enhance the customer service enhancement. So it is a value addition to the customer, and high level of the worker involvement with the Kaizen methodology or the continuous improvement mindset. And ultimately, it improves the financial return with the methodology called as a value stream mapping. So I definitely I'll going to cover in I have put one slide each for this different topic. So I'm not going into the depth as of now. So anyway, we are going to cover this. So when we talk about the Lean and Six Sigma as an overlapping methodology, so the Six Sigma starts with the DMAC methodology, and Lean always start with the value stream mapping. So when we start the value stream mapping, we worked upon the certain principles of the Lean, where we identify the value, we put the flow and pull into the place, and we work on the strengthening the processes. So there are different tools basically used all across the phases of the deployment of the methodology. So basically, what exactly the difference or the Lean and Six Sigma comes into the picture is, Lean is very basically simple to apply and very useful methodology where it requires a competence. It is basically working on the breadth of the process, where the Six Sigma is more complex, more focused towards the breakthrough improvement, and it is going to the depth of the process, right? So let us understand with this scenario, like Lean is basically helping to identify the non-valued activity from the process. So let's say this is the first process step and this is the last process step. So what are the non-valued activities from the different processes we are able to identify with the help of the Lean. It also helps to improve the flow of the different process steps. Where when we talk about the Six Sigma, so Six Sigma always improve the capability of the process where the value is not being added. And when we talk about the Lean and Six Sigma methodology as a combine, it improve the capability of the elimination of the additional steps. So this is the table I like to show that through which we can understand and identify which methodology is applicable in which scenario. So let us say we are having a scenario where we know the solution of the problem and we know the causes of the problem. So when we know both, we can use the simple just do it methodology, right? Or the quick wins, or what we can solve uh, when we have the solution which is very complex, but we know the causes, so we can apply the Lean methodology over there. Now there is a third scenario where the situation or the solution is complex and we don't know even the causes of those processes or the problem. Then we can apply the Six Sigma as a concept. And when the solution is simple but the causes are unknown, we can use the expert advice, or the subject matter expert can be involved over there. So this is the house of the Toyota, where the complete different set of tools are underlying. So Lean manufacturing tools is here, the center is the people, right? So people or the team involvement is the heart of the Lean methodology. So basically Lean is always talks about waste elimination and maximizing the value through the improvement of the flow. So on the left side we can see the tools like just in time, and on the right side we can see the tools like the Zidoka. So when we talk about the just in time methodology, it talks about pool or Kanban, it talks about the tech time. Now tech is a German word where it demonstrates that whatever the things which we are doing, it should work with the rhythm of the customer. So what exactly is customer asking, we should produce at that time only. We should not have any additional products or additional underlying inventory in place. So tech is basically a rhythm to which the customer. Third is the continuous flow, and fourth is the cellular manufacturing with the help of the SMED and OEE concepts. If we talk about Jidoka, Jidoka talks about automation, not automation. Automation, as I mentioned, automation with the human touch. So always talk about the different concepts like Pokayoke, which is called as a mistake proofing, Endon, which is a visual sign or visual control, 5Y Gemba, and 3M waste, what we already understand, Mura, Muri, and Muda. Visual management, and the six big losses when we talk about the OEE or the TPM. So the underlying the foundation of these houses work upon the 5S methodology, TPM, PDCA, as I mentioned earlier, that plan, do, check, act. We will also going to cover in today's session what exactly mean of the plan, do, check, act, VSM, and Kaizen. So that is how the complete house is being stable and standardized with the set of the different tools. Uh, Actually, we are not going to cover in much depth about all these tools because it's a long and a lengthy understanding of all the tools. But I like to go a quickly overview on this topic of the different tools. So first is the 5S. So 5S is basically a Japanese methodology, or I would say the 5S starting from the five Japanese word, that is called Siri, Siton, Seiso, Shiketsu, and Sitsu. Okay, so first test is basically Siri, where it is talks about the sorting. So what exactly is required, what exactly is not required from that particular process, we need to distinguish it, and we need to eliminate it. And second is the set in order. So it always talks about what exactly is the place for everything, and everything should be on a place. Third is the sign, where the cleanliness comes into the picture. So once we have established the orderliness into our processes, we should have the cleanliness. So cleaning and looking for the ways. So here we talk about how to make the things clean at every time and each time, so that there will be no dirtiness in our processes. Fourth as is always talks about the standardize. So whatever the things which we have deployed so far, we need to adhere to it, we need to understand and respects the standard. And the fifth one is the on the sustenance part. So it is basically on the self discipline part. Whatever the standardized structure we have made, we need to obey and stick to the rules of those. So I think let us take a break over here for at least for 10 minutes. It's 11:03 in my watch. Can we meet at 11:13 sharp? uh,
Yeah, Arpit, that works for everyone. And yeah, one more thing, guys. I mean, if you are having any questions or query, you can post it here. And once the session is over, then Arpit will be like, answering those questions, and then we can have the QA session.
yeah, so let the question and answer come into the chat box, so
Yeah,
we'll have
and we'll
usually
take it
try to
one by one. Post
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So let us break for 10 minutes.
Sure. Sure.
Okay, everyone. I hope you all are back from a break. Yeah, Ashish, can we start?
Yeah, Arpit, let's not waste our time further, which is one of
Yeah.
your learnings from the session.
Yeah. So I hope the screen is visible again.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So once again, what we have done so far is on the different lean tools. So we have just started with the 5S, right? So 5S is basically what we understand is the five Japanese words starting from the letter S. So basically, when we talk about the 5S, so live S, 5S is the basically a first step which we shown into our earlier slide as a basic or the foundation. So it is as the first step when we talk about the lean transformation into our business processes. Okay. So second is the Muda. Sorry. Oh, sorry. So second is Muda, where we working on the 7 deadly waste. So here you can see certain examples with the downtime what we have explained in the earlier couple of slides. So when we talk about the 7 deadly waste, motion, waiting, and overproduction is talks about the people aspect. Overproduction, processing, defects, and inventory talks about the process aspect, and defects, inventory, and transportation talks about the product aspect. So let us understand with this scenario with the certain examples. So let's say we have correct layout in our offices or the factory. So the different waste which are being generated through the incorrect design of the layout of the office is people has to unnecessary travel a lot. So that is a motion waste. People has to wait and sometimes the overproduction or the unnecessary movement is taken place. The second is the people has to watch the machines when it is working. So it is also creating a waiting time to the operator who works on that particular machine. Let's say we have large batches and the inventory during the production, so it causes the overproduction, waiting to the products, and unnecessary movement of the people to get that material into the movement in and out. The Let's say we have a poor maintenance machine practices existing in our processes, so it creates the extra processing of the machine. The defects are being passed on to the next station. The inventory is very high due to the machine got breakdown. So that is how all these with the different examples we like to understand and cover the different defects or the different 7 deadly waste which are lined into the different situation. Let's say we are doing the rework into our processes, let it be a manufacturing or the service environment. We are doing certain reworks in our processes which are extremely costly. So it can pass on the defects to the customer. It can increase the inventory due to the excess amount of rework is being needed, and also it increase the transportation cost to our processes. Let's say we are having high stocks which is not being demanded or not being required from the customer point of view. High stocks of the raw material, WIP, that is work in progress, and the third is the finished goods which are directly sellable to the customer. So when we have the high amount of stock into our processes, it increase the transportation of the those material, it increase the inventory cost or inventory carrying cost of the material, and there are chances that defects are always hide in between this much of the high stock. The last scenario is with respect to the unnecessary movement or extra handling. So the where the transportation waste and inventory waste comes into the picture. So the purpose of giving so much example is whenever these are the different situation which are always lying into our business practices. So at the end, everything it results into the high cost to the our processes, and where the ultimate the cost reductions come into the picture by systematic elimination of these different waste which are lying in our processes. Just a minute, it's got hang on. Uh, the slide is stuck up actually. Okay, okay. So the second is the mistake proofing. Sorry. Okay. So we are talking about the mistake proofing. So mistake proofing is basically in Japanese methodology, it is called as a pokai-yoke. So it is a technique basically for eliminating the errors, right? So it is a wonderful technique to reduce the defects in our processes and making it impossible. When we are talking about the mistake proofing, it talks about this four scenario. Uh, so we can mitigate, detect, facilitate, replace, and eliminate. So when we talk about the mitigation aspect, we should aim for minimizing the effect or the defect of that particular processes. Now, second is the detection. So when we detect the error in our processes at the source where the defect is being generated, it is called as a detection methodology. Third is the facilitation. So it basically talks about making the work simpler to perform so that the things get noticed at the source of the generation. Fourth is the replacement, where the we substitute with a more reliable process. When we come into know key, there are certain technology or the processes where which are already lying all across the market or the industry. We replace with the certain aspect, so we can reduce the defects or the eliminate the errors from that particular processes. And the last one, which is the based all across, is the elimination. So when we know that this error is generating due to certain reasons, eliminate the possibility. Now possibility means whatever the error is generating from whichever the source, we are completely eliminating that source so that the error will not get generated or pass on to the next subsequent process. Now third is the pool concept or the Kanban concepts. So in normal industrial scenario, the inventory level is generally maintained by the min max level. So when we have certain minimum level and we make the maximum level based on the reorder level or the inventory value. So the reorder generation can take place and the replenishment of the inventory comes into the place. So in terms of let us understand this with the how this pool system work. So let's say here we have the 5, 10, 15, and 20. So let's say our minimum level is the 5 unit and maximum is the 20 units. So how it works is once this is this being consumed. So let's say now these three things has consumed. Now it is getting replenished once the minimum level is achieved. So in Kanban, what we are doing is the system what we see right now is called as a pool system. So it is basically talks about the Kanban. So where the Kanban is basically talks about the uh, high performance companies basically use the Kanban to communicate the needs to the subsequent processes. The next is the Hyjunka. So Hyjunka is basically the foundation of the Toyota production system and is the labeling or the sequencing of the process. So what is meaning of the labeling? So it is basically the overall labeling of a process to reduce the variation in the output. So when we label out the process, so we are having a similar rhythm of the output of the processes. Now, second is the sequencing. Sequencing means managing the order in which the work is product. So sequencing means, let's say, if we talk about the automotive scenario where the different car is being manufactured on the same line, so let's say we are producing the car with the different models, so the how the sequencings come into the picture, so that we can have the mixed model production. So that is why the concept of Heijunka comes into the picture. The next is the stability or the standard work. So stability or standard work is basically talks about the reducing the variation in the process. So basically to reduce the variation in the process, the Heijunka concept is being implemented. Now next is the Zidoka. So Zidoka is basically as I mentioned earlier, that automation or automation with the human touch or human intelligence. So when we talk about the Zidoka, so it basically always see that how our processes can be improved with the use of the automation into the place. So how that the concept is being evolved is, let us understand with this example. So let us see that this is a raw material bin, and the operator is standing over here to feed to that material. So in this scenario, the operator is feeding manually to the machine, and once the feeding is happening, the operator is just observing how the process is being carried out. So it is more talks about how the manual feed, and the operator is just watching how the machine is being working. Then in the second scenario, we have put the one conveyor, and this is the machine where the feeding is happening to the automatic conveyor, and the output is being collected in this particular bin. So in this scenario, the operator is just watching the machine cycle, how it is getting performed, and it is more towards the operator's role is more towards how the system is generating the output in terms of the zero defects or without any problem. So now, when we see the third scenario with the application of the Zidoka, where the automatic feed is happening, and we have put the auto end on line. So any abnormality comes into this particular machine while it is being performed the process. These end on lines come into the picture, and it denotes that the certain problems is being happening. Now over here also we have made to put some sensors or some automation, so that automatic the rejection which is happening from this particular process or the machine is being rejected, and it is being segregated at the machine itself. So it is basically a self-monitoring machine, so where the need of the person is being eliminated. So the concept of Jidoka is basically more towards fixing the problem at the source, so that the subsequent process should be a defect free. Now the next concept is the Kaizen. Sorry. So what exactly the Kaizen means, as I explained earlier, is Kai and Zen. So Kai means change. So it is again a Japanese word. So lean is a totally a set of the different Japanese techniques and terminologies. So so Kaizen is basically Kai is change and Zen is for better. So Kaizen is talks about the change for the betterment or the continuous improvement. So now let us understand this concept with the four principles methodology. This is called as the ECRS: eliminate, combine, rearrange, and simplify. So when we are working certain activity, let it be in manufacturing or in the service environment, any activities which we can stop it or eliminate, it comes under the elimination part of. So only the purposeful activities should be done as per the customer requirement. Let's say combine. So let's understand it with the spanner example. So let's say we are using the two different spanner for fixing or assembling certain products, and we can change this particular spanner with the here you can see we are using the two spanners. So we understand that the keeping it update taking it and again back keeping it on that particular station. So the operator is involved in the unnecessary movement of the different waste. So here when we club this tool with the same one single tool, we are combining, and we are systematically eliminating the different waste which is lying into the process. Third aspect is the rearrangement. So in under rearrangement, if you can see over here, the all the different parts are lying here and over. when we put it into the place with the 5S methodology and rearranging all the parts or the spanners or the tools in a specific location, we are working on the rearrangement part of the Kaizen. And the last one is the simplification. So simplification always talks about how we can simplify our processes by easy to use the tools and easy to take out the puts into the processes. So there is one more a terminology which is being used. It is as a kaikeku. So kaikaku means it's a breakthrough improvement, and Kaizen is basically a evolutionary change. So Kaizen always works upon the continuous improvement cycle, whereas kaikaku is basically talks about some breakthrough improvement when we talk about the processes. Now the next topic is on the value stream mapping. So what exactly the value stream mapping is? When we start with the value stream mapping, we are using the concepts of the lean principles. So lean principles are basically these are the 5 lean principles. One is the first is understand the value from the customer mindset. Second is the understand on which value stream or on which products under our production capability or under our service environment would like to work upon. Third is make the flow happen. Means there should not be any stuck up or any stuck up into our process, so that it should have a streamlined flow. Pool means always it should take from the subsequent process, and we should always aim for the perfection. So where the continuous improvement come into the picture. So here let us understand the value stream mapping concept with the two lean methodology. One is called as a process lean and second is the flow lean. So process lean is always talks about elimination of the waste, and flow lean is always talks about the flow and the pool environment. Okay, so here this is the last slide when we talk about the topic on the lean. So so many sorry, I don't know why it is going. Okay, so when we talk about the lean as a methodology, it is many unidentified problem exist within our processes, be it any process. I would say again, because any process is underlying with the different problems or certain waste which are already exist into the process, and those does not add any value. So exposing those problems and understanding the opportunity how we can improve it, it is the underlying principle of the lean. So here the basic purpose or the motive is the implementation, how we are going to implement and sustain the improvement in a better way. So now let us talk about the Six Sigma. So what exactly Six Sigma is, I just like to cover it in next 15-20 minutes, and then we'll have a question answer. So what exactly Six Sigma is? Six Sigma is basically a data driven, data focused and purely focused on the customer. Because when we start the Lean Six Sigma methodology, it always talks about the customer. What exactly is customer, and how the value is enabling towards the customer. So it is again a result oriented methodology, and it always uses the statistical tools and techniques to determine or to eliminate the defects as well as the inefficiencies from our processes. Now next topic is how and different goals of the Six Sigma lying, so that we can work upon the objective of reducing the variation in our processes, objective of elimination of the defects from our processes, and ultimately the enhancing the customer satisfaction and creating the good impact on the bottom line. So now let us understand what exactly the Six Sigma is with the multifaceted users of the Six Sigma. So first aspect is the problem solving methodology. So when we talk about the problem solving methodology, Six Sigma always talks about the equation that is called as a y is a function of x. So what exactly the y is? Any output or any defect or any effect or any symptom which we can monitor it, it is called as a y. So and x is any parameter which are different factors or inputs to our processes or different causes which create a problem or the defects to the products, it is called as a X factors or X causes. So y is always a function of x, which also we can understand with the example. So let us understand there is the value chain, let's say MACD, where the burgers are being made. So let's say in one certain outlet there is a low customer satisfaction. So low customer satisfaction is output or the or the dependent variable where there are certain problems which are underlying into the processes. So when we understand it, so low customer satisfaction is due to the poor taste of the burger, and which is a function of the improper calibration of the grill during the process while the burgers are being made into the oven. Second is the lower employee morale. So when that HR is able to understand why the people are not properly motivated, they understand that the poor time of approval system is the cause of the lower employee morale. The third scenario is the scenario where let's say it's a bank where the people or the customer has to wait for their turn, and that is due to the technological disruption who are handling the process. So the customer wait time here is the function of the technological disruptions who are handling that particular processes. Now when we talk about Six Sigma, it always call about the collection of the VOC. So VOC stands for the voice of the customer. So what exactly is VOC is when we start any improvement project with the Six Sigma methodology, we should understand the pain of the business or the pain areas of the customer. So what exactly those pain areas are linking with our internal manufacturing or the service processes, we should link those VOC into our we should correlate those pain areas to our business processes, and that is how the Six Sigma starts with the improvement journey. Second is the employee engagement. So any improvement is sustained when the people are motivated, when the people are knowledgeable, and when the people are close to the business where these problems are being generated. Third is the distaste to the defect and the variation. So that is to penetrate the culture of the continuous improvement within the organization. Now, when we talk about the Six Sigma as a philosophy, so in earlier belief, it was being said that when we good to give the customer high quality, our processes are high cost oriented. So uh, there is one concept called as a COPQ, that is a cost of poor quality. So when we talk about the improvement in the quality, the belief is that we should have the higher cost in our processes. But over a period of time, once the Six Sigma is got popular, uh, it has been a new belief is generated. Then when we produce like to have a high quality product, we should have the low cost, because we are reducing the elimination of the defects, as well as we are reducing the variation from the processes. So better process always reduce the cost. So this Six Sigma is measuring the sigma. The sigma is basically a Greek word where the sigma stands for the variation or the standard deviation of the process. So there are certain levels of the Six Sigma in terms of the cost of quality. So when we are working at the 1 sigma level, we have a defect rate of 6,90,000. So out of the 10 lakh products which being produced from that particular station, the 6,90,000 products having certain problems. So when we talk about this kind of scenario, our product are being non-competitive. When we are operating at the 4 sigma level, our defect rate is at the 6210. So that is from the ppm level, so that means parts per million. So when we are producing the 1 million, that is 10 lakh products, our defect rate is the 6200. So it is generally when we start with the most of the scenario in the business environment, these two 3 or 4 sigma level is lying. So once we able to recognize our current sigma level, and we worked upon the Six Sigma as a methodology in our processes, then we should aim for the 5 and 6 sigma level. The 6 sigma level is talks about the 3.4 defect rate or the 3.4 parts per million. So when we are producing 1 million products, our processes are producing the three products are being defect with defect. So it is at the less than of 10% of the cost of quality. So when we are operating at the Six Sigma level, we are being the world class company. So the third aspect is Six Sigma as a metric and as a common yardstick for the measurement of the business processes. So Six Sigma always talks about the measurement. So measurement is always, if you cannot measure, you cannot improve and you cannot control. So ultimately understanding the current condition and measuring it is very essential when we talk about the Six Sigma. So here you can see this complete timeline where how the Six Sigma got evolved. So as I mentioned earlier, that Dr. Deming, who is the pioneer of this methodology, and Mr. Bill Smith, who was working with the Motorola, are the pioneer or the early adopters in the industry. And the Six Sigma is being first successfully implemented in the company Motorola, and the Bill Smith is the father of Bill Smith is that is why it is called as a father of the Six Sigma. And the ultimate approach of the methodology and the application of the Six Sigma embedded into the culture of the Motorola. That is how they have won the Malbridge National Quality Award MBNQA during the 1980s. So once the Motorola success being popular all across the different industry, black belt structure is being introduced, and the Jack Welch from the GE, who is the well-known CEO of the GE, they have adopted the Six Sigma methodology all across their business processes, and they have taken a very stretched target of improving the 10 times within the 5 years. So whatever their business KPI is, they have multifold within the 10x goal, and they have really achieved in the GE. And the Jack Welch is that is why is being very popular when we talk about the Six Sigma as a methodology. After the success of the GE in their industry and their various business processes, it has been more popular, and it has been applied across many industries like Texas Instrument, IBM, ABB, Allied Signal, and Honeywell. Now, one of the Deming's idea, which is called as a PDCA, that is called as a plan, do, check, and act. So this is a continuous improvement cycle which we need to understand when we talk about the improvement or the continuous sustainment of the processes. So when we talk about plan, so plan is basically when we realize something, when we recognize something that we need to change from where we are working existing currently. So that is how the realization phase is called as a plan, where we create certain improvement actions, and then we work upon that improvement actions for testing those ideas into the reality. So that is called as a do part of the PDCA cycle. Third part is the check part, where we are using those results of the test and checking and verifying how the improvements are working. So here more focus towards the implementation aspects of the processes. And the last part is the act part. So once you act is you identify certain improvements, and you test into the product environment and the real situation, and you then scale up for the larger business scope of the particular processes. So that is how the PDCA cycle is being framed upon by the Dr. Edward Deming, and it is being more popular, and it is a base or the core tenet of the Six Sigma. So what exactly the Sigma meaning is? Sigma is basically a Greek alphabet which stands for the standard deviation. So that standard deviation is always from the mean or the target. So mean is basically a simple average of the data, and standard deviation is a measure of the variability of the data. So when we talk about any process, there are two range, that is one is upper specification limit and the second is the lower specification limit. So any process, when we talk about it, it should be mean centered. We should have the very less deviation or variation from the mean center process. So any variation which is being generated from the process, this is called as a sigma level of that particular process. So as the defects generation goes down, our sigma capability improves as we talk about, as we move from one sigma level to the Six Sigma level. So now let us understand how to identify Six Sigma project when we want to improve our processes. So first we need to understand the VOC, that is called as a voice of the customer. How our customer escalation or the complaints are being generated, how the business is getting lost in some of the product portfolio or the business units. The second aspect is the voice of the business or the voice of the processes. So any critical process metric that is assigned to meet the customer requirement is called as the voice of the business or the voice of the process. Third is voice of the internal customer. So if the internal customer are being not satisfied, though we can apply the Six Sigma as a methodology. As I explained earlier, that COPQ concept. So COPQ is the cost of poor quality, cost of repair, cost of rejection, cost of handling the rework, cost of recall of our product. So it all underlie under the umbrella term of the cost of poor quality. And we like to improve our first time right product or process or the software delivery. Then we can use the Six Sigma as a concept. So any net quantifiable benefit which derived from the business endeavor is called as a Six Sigma project. We can apply the Six Sigma problem solving methodology over there. That helps us to enable the value delivery of into our business. So when we talk about the Six Sigma as a methodology, there are certain methodology or terminology which being used. So champions are the people who are the business leaders and provide the resources to support the implementation of the Six Sigma methodology. Master black belt are the people who are the basically experts, and those are the cultural changer to the processes. Black belt who are the who lead the project teams when we talk about the Lean Six Sigma, and green belt who carry the projects as part of their working style. Their work content will not hamper, but they enable the improvement of the processes with the current level of their designations. So when we talk about the flow chart, so how to define a problem, when we have any practical problem, we should see the root cause is known or not known. So when we know the root cause of that particular problem, uh, the I implement, so it is called as a simple, it is called also called as I implement or just do it or quick win. So we should just improve by taking certain actions. The second is the Kaizen blitz or breakthrough improvement when the problem is complex and the root cause is known. But when the root cause is unknown and the problem complexity is simple, we should use the green belt methodology. And when the situation is complex, we should apply the black belt methodology over there. So green belt and black belt, what the difference basically over here is, with the green belt methodology, the complexity of problem is simple. So we should solve the problem in, let's say, 3 to 4 months span. But when we are using the complex problem methodology, we are working on the complex situation. It takes a longer time as compared to the green belt, but the methodology remains the same. Only works. Only the difference is on the time duration of the success of the project. So once we define the problem, once we adopt this Six Sigma methodology, we should quantify the problem with the measure and analysis phase, and we should quantify the solution with certain improvement actions. Those actions should be applied practically over that particular process for the improve part, and there should be a control into the place. So when we talk about Six Sigma, there are two aspects which are being generally popular into the various industry. So one is the DMAC methodology, that is called as a define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So these are the 5 phase methodology approach which can be applied when we are improving the process which already exists. Means the process is already exists, but we are having certain problem into our processes. Then we can use this 5 phase Six Sigma methodology, which is with the DMAC methodology. There is one another methodology which is called as a DMADV, that is define, measure, analyze. These 3 phase remain same. The last 2 phase get changed. That is design and verify. So this methodology is applied when we are developing a new set of procedures or the products or the design. So that is why this methodology is being used. Now let us understand how this y is a function of x correlate with the DMAC methodology. So y is always represent the problem statement which is occurring into our business, and x is are the different underlying causes which are creating the variation into our processes, and that is how this problem is being generated. So when we talk about define, measure, analyze, improve, and control methodology, in the define phase, we are defining the problem with help of gaining the know-how of the customer, voice of the business, and the pain area of the business, where we create the project charter, where we create the timeline of our project, and we start with the improvement journey. In the second phase, we are actually calibrating our processes, how the outcome of the current process performance is there, and we are validating how our measurement system is capable or not. So there are certain techniques and the terminology which are using in the CP and CPK, that is the indicator of the process capability of the our existing process. In the third phase, in the analysis phase, we identify the different root causes with the help of the brainstorming and the fishbone or the root cause methodology, and we create the a cause and effect diagram. We understand which are the different underlying causes which are impacting jointly or simultaneously to our processes, and we identify the various sources of the variation. So analysis phase is the heart of Six Sigma methodology, where we identify the different causes which are creating the defects or the problems to our processes. Then in improve phase, we work upon the improvement of our processes with making the action plan and creating the roadmap of how the systematic elimination of the defects will happen. The last phase is the control phase, where we control our axis. So axis means once we identify the different causes, we are prioritizing how these particular causes are getting impacted into our processes, and we create and prepare certain control plans for the sustained performance of our processes. So here you can see the certain artifacts which are being generated as part of the DMAC methodology. So in define phase, the important artifact is the project charter, where we create a complete roadmap how the project is being working upon, and this is the one-page document where and it is a live document where the anybody can refer this document and get a complete know-how for why the project is being done, and how it impacts to our business situation. So there are certain tools which are being used during the different phases, like critical to quality, measurement system analysis, understanding the statistical part with the help of the MSA, that is a measurement system analysis, and we create the we understand the current capability of the process, whether the process is stable or not, and we are methoding the control charts of the existing process. Once we are into the analysis phase, we use the Pareto chart, run chart, cause effect, or the 7 quality tools which we called as, and we understand the which are the different causes which are creating the turbulence into our processes. And in the improve phase, we worked upon the benchmark methodology, force field analysis. We're creating certain criteria and testing it upon our processes, and we see how the failure mode and effect analysis is creating the process into the more improvement and the strengthened way. The last phase is the control, where we creating the certain artifacts like process control, control plan, control charts. We always do the cost benefits analysis, whether those action has create a gain on our improvement on the business processes. And creating the mistake proofing is the important element when we talk about the control phase, because unless and until we put certain mistake proofing part, the problem is about to happen. And Six Sigma is always talks about key there are two sigma level, one is long term and short term sigma level. So when we improve a certain processes, let's say our current process is at 2 sigma level, and we improve it to the 3.5 sigma level. So over a certain period of time, let's say 6 months or 1 year, the process is again drifting towards the 2 sigma level. Why? Because the other elements of the variation is comes into the picture, and those creates the turbulence into the process, and again the sigma level will drop down. So here in control phase, it is very important to put certain controls which are mistake proof, and the control plan is really important document, so that we can mitigate the risk with the help of these elements, and our processes are streamlined for a longer period of time. So I'm not going to the depth of this project charter. Most of the people are get acquainted. So here we can make a business case, opportunity statement, goal statement. Important is how to scope out the project. What are my in scope? What will be my out of scope? The team members are very important. We can prepare the team charter separately, the timeline, and the how the benefit is being generated from this particular project. So let us conclude this today's sessions with how the different benefits by adopting the Lean Six Sigma as a project manager. So basically, this concept is talks about the efficiency aspect. So efficiency is evident in the optimization of the processes. We are systematically eliminating and reducing the waste from our processes. We are creating more streamlined processes and efficient processes. Whatever the delays or redundant activities are being there, we are systematically eradicating from existing processes. And the ultimately, when we talk about Lean Six Sigma, the teams or the people are the important aspects. And Toyota, when we talk about the Toyota production system, the people are at the heart of the Toyota production system. So that is why we are involving the people aspect also by Kaizen and the continuous improvement methodology. So the focus is on efficiency, not only saves the time, but always reduces the cost and make competitive business environment. So Lean Six Sigma basically generally promotes a culture of continuous improvement. By integrating this Lean and Six Sigma based practices, we as a project manager can achieve the higher level of the efficiency, customer satisfaction, and the data driven decision making. So under the landscape of the continuous involvement, the Lean Six Sigma stands as a beacon and the guiding project management towards the future of the excellence and the success in whatever the business scenario, whatever the business environment, whatever the industry. But this methodology is applicable all across the industry. So thanks a lot, everyone. And these are my contact details. You can connect with me LinkedIn, or you if you have any question even after this session, you can put a mail to this mail ID, and we can connect, and I will be glad to answer your queries now. So this session is open for the Q&A. Parallelly, you can also scan this QR code and give the feedback for this forum meet. So now the session is open for the Q&A.
Yeah, thanks, Arpit. So, I mean, we have got few questions. I'll just simply, paste it here because it will be difficult for me to scroll down everything. So I have copied those questions. Let me just paste it here only. Okay, I guess there's something text issues.
Yeah, so still the question appears, you can scan this code and give the feedback for this particular event. So that will really helpful for the next session. Yeah, Ashish, any question?
Yeah. Arpit, just let me just post all those questions here.
Okay.
So yeah, just now I have pasted them on the chat window.
Okay.
So mostly these questions are like around the application of this, and so I can read it here. Like one of the question is how we can how lean can help into the IT project management, and how we can use this Six Sigma techniques to enhance customer satisfaction and operational efficiency. So
Yeah.
this,
So I just take a couple of minutes to explain this question. Basically, lean always talks about the reducing the waste. Waste means whatever the activities which are not determined or not getting being added value to the customer mindset. So we are ultimately improving the efficiency of any process. So as I explained, this methodology is applicable all across the industry. Only we need to have that eye, or we should have that mindset to capture what problem is underlying into the process, and we do certainly those improvement into the place, because it is a very proven methodology, and so many organization has adopted it and really got the advantage out of that. Yeah.
yes, and similarly, the other question is speaking about how we can, how we can use this lean concept in the product management, because this is one of the latest emerging stream now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So product management always talks about the defining the new processes. So where we can apply this DMADV, or the DFSS, what is called as a design for Six Sigma. So when we are designing some new product, or it is at the very grassroots level, we can use those concepts. In the complete model is like that. The three phase remains same, so almost 60% you can cover with the knowledge know-how of the Six Sigma. But the last two phase, it's talk about the design and verification. So design and verification talks about more towards how we are validating those concepts into the reality, where we can have the minimum viable product and minimum business increment into our processes. So anyway, the product management part is always being worked upon with the DMA-DV methodology.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, seeing the paucity of the time, I just want to restrict myself on this, like at this point only. And
Okay.
let me introduce Mr. Amut Pushalkar. He is VP Marketing, to give us a vote of thanks. Hi, Amut.
Hello, good morning. Rather, good afternoon, all. Uh, can you hear me clearly?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay, great. So, thank you very much, Mr. Arpit Desai, for today's detailed session on this Lean Six Sigma basics and fundamental of the same. I'm sure many of us are using this LSS methods in their daily professional life. Also, some of us are planning to use planning to use this LSS methodologies effectively in their area of expertise and working. So I'm sure that everyone has got something or the other from this today's very well-paced, well-organized session. So I think whatever is the level of knowledge about the Lean Six Sigma and experience with it, it is always a good idea to go back to basics at some point in time. So I'm sure the today's PM forum has provided that opportunity to some 60, 70 attendees who are present over here today. So again, thanks a lot from PMI Mumbai chapter, and PMI Mumbai chapter looks forward to having you on the PM forums again and the other events that we organize throughout the year. So, and while talking about the other events organized by the chapter, let me take this opportunity to share that one of such event is coming up in the next month on 21st of June, which is our PMI chapter exchange event. So I'm sharing the link for the registration for that event. So I request all the attendees present over here to visit the link and register yourself for this wonderful knowledge sharing session, which is coming up in the next month. So thank you, Mr. Arpit Desai, once again for your wonderful session, very insightful session today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, PMI chapter, Mumbai chapter, for giving me an opportunity and know how to contribute to the best of the people. And I hope everyone has got something from today's session, so that they can also apply those techniques into their routine, and they can also learn and earn more into their way of future. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So thanks everyone, and I hope everyone has got the link for the feedback form. So please fill it. Please provide your feedback. This will help us to improve and then get the feedback of the session. Yeah. So yeah, that's all. Thanks everyone. Have a nice weekend. Signing out.